Hi, Tamara. Thank you for sending in your essay. We do apologize for the delay because we've been experiencing just a bit of a backup of essays, which caused the 3-day delay. But here we are at last. Now let's have a look. Global advertisement of goods is sometimes under the question and considered as an invasive and an intrusion into the country. Various individuals argue that in addition to spreading ideas, language, and culture, it is a necessary and economical form of education. This essay will consider two beliefs and provide my personal judgment. That's a nice first introduction. I mean, that's a nice start. However, we have to fix a couple of things. First of all, intrusion needs to be corrected in terms of spelling, individuals as well. I can see that there are other spelling errors in here. Remember that spelling is not the worst type of error that you may have, but if you have way too many spelling mistakes, this will affect your band score. Just remember that, and perhaps find some 5 minutes at the end of your writing to proofread your text and make sure that you have as few spelling errors as possible. Now let's go on. Global advertisement. I would rather say global advertising because that's an action. Sometimes the question is considered invasive and an intrusion to the country. I can see that both here and here you have taken the exact wording of the task. Please remember that under the real exam conditions, if you do this, these words will be subtracted from your word count, and they will be counted as not your words because you are not using your own expressions to say the same. So make sure that you don't retake entire phrases from the task. Use your own synonyms as much as possible to demonstrate the range of your vocabulary. This is a very nice thesis statement. So you intend to both describe the two sides of the argument and give your own opinion. Resulting from noteworthy variation in international trade patterns, the state of affairs when world marketing may be considered in question as invasive and intrusive appears to have become more widespread. I'm not sure I understand your idea completely. It's difficult to follow through your sentence structure. You can say that as there is a noteworthy variation in international trade patterns, the state of affairs when world marketing may be considered as invasive and intrusive, and again, you use the same vocabulary as in the previous paragraph. Use synonyms, otherwise you will lose band score points in vocabulary. Appears to have become more widespread. Okay, but not exactly resulting from. Enough data reveal that global marketing causes devastating effect on domestically made purchasing of. I'm not sure what you mean here. I just don't understand. I can't infer. I'm trying to figure it out. Pushing. No, but I'm not sure what you mean. So you mean that global marketing is very detrimental, has a devastating effect, and not causes, has a devastating effect on domestically made products as marketing of goods works well, and therefore boosts people's mind to buy foreign products that affect the local economy. Oh, I understand your idea here, but you need to use better grammar and better sentence structure. Work on your grammar here because you might rephrase this as follows. Now, data reveal that global marketing has a devastating effect on domestically made products This happens because as the marketing of foreign goods works well, it boosts people's mind, or it influences people, it changes people's minds. I'm not going to correct this, but you can hear what I'm saying, to buy foreign products rather than the local ones, which affects the local economy. I think you mean this, right? So as you can see, there are many changes that need to be made here. For example, online foreign products are less expensive than the same quality of products bought in local shops. Okay, whereas hardly anybody would disagree that it is exceptionally challenging to avoid this. And this is a fragment. You have a sentence which is unfinished. Whereas this happens, what happens? Whereas hardly anybody would disagree that it is exceptionally challenging to avoid this, it still can be done. You probably mean this. I don't know. I like your ideas in this paragraph. They are absolutely appropriate, but it's difficult to follow because you need to work on your sentence structure, overall grammar, some of the vocabulary, and overall coherence and cohesion. And just to let you know, our online course has all the tools to help you do that. You can learn how to improve these aspects very fast. So you might want to have a look at the offer at the end of my email to give it a try, because in about 8 days you can get rid of all this. But of course, grammar is a longer so to say, it's a more long-lasting effort that you need to make, but you can still improve structure and coherence a lot. Let's see the next body paragraph. Whereas a few investigators claim that in addition to spreading ideas, language, and culture, this is a fragment as well. If you start a sentence with whereas, you need to continue with the main clause. Whereas a few investigators claim this, that happens, right? And who are the investigators? What are they investigating? Do you mean researchers? Do you mean economists? Who do you mean? It is necessarily an economical form. I'm not sure what you mean here too. Probably you mean that whether it is a necessary and economical form of education may make look the previous standpoint doubtful. I'm not sure what you mean here. This means that the use of your language gets in the way of understanding how you're answering the question. This means under real exam conditions, your task achievement criterion will be affected. That is why I always make sure that whatever you write is comprehensible. It can be understood. Unfortunately, I'm not sure that I understand this. This means I can't understand this. Stressing the suggestion, it might be stated. Which suggestion? I don't understand what is suggested. It might be stated that international advertising, as I said before, helps the local economy by inserting global idea in fashion to the youth, for example. I think I understand the overall idea. You mean that international marketing influences local economy by, for example, convincing the youth to follow global fashion, right? So there's a lot of advertising about huge international brands like H&M or Zara. So everyone sees this and they want to buy the foreign products. To meet the demand of youth, the international company opens up working places locally, and as a result, local people get a job with money they can afford to continue developing. Okay, I understand the logic, but again, for example, this part needs work. What do you mean by with money they can afford to continue developing? What do you put into the idea of developing? You have to be more specific. Yes, I do understand that you mean that there's development if international brands open local franchises, and that produces employment, which is great. That's a great counter argument. However, you need to work on being more coherent and more specific. Moreover, with increased demand for cheap Uh, on spelling and grammar again for cheap clothes, many companies open their businesses. No, I would rather say extend their franchises in world countries. Countries. Therefore, companies, therefore helping the local economies through paying taxes and rebuilding the social sector. You see, I'm not correcting everything because otherwise it will take me much longer to do this. But you can hear my corrections. I'm sure you will follow all my recommendations. Still, it is essential to consider every aspect of every particular occurrence. I'm not sure what you mean by the sentence. You probably mean as a general statement, like, it depends on the case, of course. So the same cannot be said, cannot be generalized for all the places and all the companies and all the local manufacturers. I like your ideas in this paragraph, but this paragraph needs huge work in terms of coherence, vocabulary, sentence structure, and paragraph structure as such. Now let's have a look at the conclusion. To my mind, the former view is certainly more convincing because it is supported from my own practice since I'm working in the trade sphere. I understand your idea, I do. However, in the conclusion, you have to summarize the two main ideas that you have developed in your body paragraphs and state your opinion clearly. I haven't seen your opinion apart from this. The former view certainly more convincing. Again, which former? I have to go back to the introduction and look for it. Not really. I have to, I as a reader and assessor, I have to see this former view restated in the conclusion. So be more specific in terms of your opinion. Make sure that you restate both main ideas developed in the body paragraphs in the conclusion and be very, very specific. Well, I am hopeful that this feedback is not going to discourage you, but it will become a valuable boost to improve your quality of writing. So please have a look at the offer at the end of my reply email. And if you join the full essay writing course, in the next 24 hours, you will get 2 essay corrections for free, which I think is a great idea, and even a $10 discount. Try, and I'm sure that you will learn a load of new things, which improve your quality of writing like in no time.